did like 10,000 in one day. I went back, lost the whole account.
Some of my issues personally are definitely being a and jumping into a trade late, and like I'll hear you're like, oh yeah, my TP is this, and I'm like, bro, that's entry.
Yeah, so basically what my problem is right now is letting trades play out.
The point of the psychology calls is that trading is really just you versus you based. So I love to have people come on and really explain the struggles that they're having. We can kind of let people get things off of their chest, and then they start to understand that they're not the only ones going through half the things they're going through. A lot of people in trading, or even me sometimes, have days where I do something very stupid and I beat myself up about it and I think I'm an idiot, when really we all do around the same shit. All the fuck ups is in trading is very simple. It's either over leveraging, over trading, and having no confidence in trading, you know, being a bitch in trading, or just being too greedy.
How much? You hear me okay?
Everything's great, brother. Talk to me.
Oh man, I catch some really great bangers, man. I did like 10,000 in one day, and then I fucking didn't leave the account alone. I went back on Apex, lost the whole fucking account because I just like I can catch the bangers, but then like it's tough for me to fucking stay awake.
You're very trigger happy. What it sounds like to me is you're very trigger happy, and it comes from success sometimes. I tell people this all the time. My best and worst day in my trading career was the first day I made $20,000 in one day. From there, I only wanted to see 20K days, and it made me very trigger happy, where I would start chasing a bunch of trades and chasing a lot of profits. And that's one thing you cannot do on Apex because of the unrealized gains, where you're just going to get cooked. You're up 10K for the day. Why don't you just end the day there? Where else are you going to make 10,000 in a day for? You know, you're not going to do that anywhere.
There we go. What's up, guys?
What's up,
but some of my issues personally are, definitely being a bitch and jumping a trade and jumping into a trade late. And like, I'll hear you're like, oh yeah, my TP is this. And I'm like, bro, that's entry. So just getting more used to that kind of stuff. And then also recognizing what my profit goals are when I'm getting into a trade.
I mean, as for profit goals, what you need to find an actual profit goal is knowing how much you're willing to lose every single trade. And that's how you start to decipher how heavy you're going to go on a trade. And then you start to really just look at the chart, wait to see where can price react, where would my entry potentially be at, where would I have to place a stop loss, and where would my TP be, what's the risk to reward, and then you figure out how heavy you're actually going to go in the trade. You shouldn't tell yourself I want to make X amount in a day, because if you get relatively close to it, your psychology is going to get ruined, because you're going to want to either A, get to that number and lose it, or B, limit yourself when you get to that number and the trade's not done. Hey Matt, talk to me. What's up, brother?
I'm doing good. Thank you for taking my call. So basically what my problem is right now is letting trades play out. I have a tendency to get into plays because I was in another Discord before, and the fucking guy, he didn't teach you how to use prop firms. He was just like, hey, go buy these Apex accounts. Didn't teach you about drawdown, didn't teach you nothing about that. So I was doing that, blowing counts for a while, and then eventually I was like, oh, when I see green, I have to take it. So anytime I would see green, I would take it, I would get out of the trade, and then the trade would just play on without me. And then I would feel fucking upset, and then try to hop back in, and then it would go the other way. It would lose, go on tilt. So that's the biggest thing. And then knowing that each level is going to do something how it should be. So like if it gets to a level, I'll wait for it to break through and it'll go the other way. I'm like, fuck, I should have gone that. And it's just knowing and having the confidence to take the trade properly to understand what the trade is actually doing.
You need to get rid of that shoulda, coulda, woulda ass bullshit. Get that out of your vocabulary. Shoulda, coulda, woulda doesn't matter, okay? And knowing what a level is going to do is you're never going to know that, okay? We don't try to predict the market. We just react to it. If it hits my level, all I think about is what could happen here. I'm going to look at price action, see what it does, and I'm going to react to whatever the chart does. I'm never going to be like, oh, 786, got to buy here. You know, like I'm never going to be like, you know, Depending. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say never, because there is times where at topside orb and I'm like, risk to reward looks good. Let me sell it because I know I have tight risk and I'm comfortable losing. So I'll take a trade based off just risk to reward. But you're never truly gonna know what's gonna happen. Just because we sweep a session doesn't mean we're for sure gonna reverse. You need to wait for those confirmations. We need to see everything that I have in the course right for you guys to present. And once it does present, then you know now I can take a trade and I'm gonna be consistent and do this shit every day. I'm gonna wait for my confluences. I'm gonna be confident in every trade. Whether I lose or not, it doesn't matter. No strategy is 100%. There's not one strategy that's 100%. So you need to be comfortable and confident in taking every single strategy or every single trade that meets your criteria. If you have the criteria and it lines up, why not take it?
I'm having problems like what you always do. You always take partials. Well, I'm always getting in a trade and my risk reward is usually, 10-point stop loss. I try to make sure I get into that type of like not trying to risk too much. And I'll always see it. It always shoots in my direction, man. I'm telling you, just about every fucking time. And I'm up at least 10 points or more. And then, I'll put my stop loss to break even. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to let it flip on me, but I don't ever take the partials. And it's mostly just because I'm struggling to realize where to take those partials. Like you guys are always talking about like could flip here, and market structure. Totally understand. And I don't really know what's going on with me right now. Honestly, I'm just over trading. Like I said, I don't know where to take these partials. But if I did like kind of what Logan does, he takes his 10 points and then he has a trailing stop loss and a manual. I feel like taking those 10 points and then maybe letting like 5 run. Like I trade with 10 micros every time.
So it's really just based off the areas of interest, the key levels, and knowing what type of trade you're taking. Like Max's strategy and my strategy are relatively the same thing. All of Max's confluences are my confluences, except I try to pair multiple of them together, which is why I confidently hold trades and I can intraday trade. Max is a scalper because he doesn't have as many confluences. So you got to know, am I going to take a scalp or am I going to take an actual intraday trade that's going to go for 50 to 100 to 200 points and it's going to be 10, 20, 30-minute trade, maybe an hour trade. So you need to know what type of trade am I and I tell people this all the time. You need to know what type of trade you're going to take. If I'm looking at the 4-hour time frame, the daily time frame, I know I'm probably going to be in this bitch for 4 hours to 24 hours. If I'm looking at the 1 minute time frame and my levels are based off the 1 minute time frame and I'm trading just off 1 minute time frame structure, nothing else, I'm probably going to be in the trade for a few minutes. So my levels are based off of the 1 hour to 4 hour time frame, which is why I really enjoy how my fib is, because I have levels that are based off of such a higher time frame, which has more data in it, which tells me this is going to be a strong area of interest. So that's why when I'm in a trade and I reach one of those areas, I typically am gonna partial out, because I know here it can potentially reverse. It can potentially do this. And if it breaks it, then I know I can hold till the next level, because they're based off of higher time frame. Higher time frame, more data, stronger level. Very simple. But Max's strategy is good as fuck. All his strategies are confluences that I use. He just uses them each separate.